Hello, good morning friends. We'll be start with our one more class. In a previous class, we will be discussed some point regarding unit number 4 protein. Among that, introduction, definition, and elemental composition. Next one are amino acids, essential amino acids, and non-essential amino acids. And today we will be start with one more subheading, that is broad classification of proteins. How will we broadly classify the proteins as a part of our nutrition, as a part of biochemistry? We will be see here. Basically, as a part of biochemistry, we will be broadly classify the protein as a first one is a simple protein, second one is a conjugate protein, third one is a derived protein. Okay. First one is simple protein. Simple protein means on the hydrolysis we will get a simple amino acids. There is no additional part. Simple proteins who cannot be further hydrolyzed. On hydrolysis we will get a amino acids who cannot be further hydrolyzed. This those will be called as a simple proteins. And among this simple protein, based on the structure of amino acids we are getting or structure of protein we are getting, we will be classifying as a globular protein and scleroprotein. Globular protein means those will be having the shape of global or oval in shape, round in shape protein or oval in shape proteins. All those proteins will be called as a globular protein. Scleroprotein means those will be having the structure of filamental, fusiform, filamental, thread-like structure. Those will be called as a scleroproteins. Among these globular proteins, we can be classified as a albumin will be coming, globulin will be coming, gluteolin will be coming, and prolamine will be coming, histone will be coming, and last one is protamine will be coming. Sometime as a 2 marks question, list of the globular proteins, any two globular proteins. During that time you can mention albumin, globulin, gluteolin, and prolamine, histones. Those will be having the structure of round in shape. That's why we will call it the globular protein. And scleroprotein means those will be having a filamental or thread-like structures. Examples like collagen present in skeletal muscle, elastin present in the skeletal muscle, and some connective tissues, and keratins present in hairs and nails. Those are having the structure of filamental in nature. Those will come under the classification of scleroproteins. Okay. Next we will be jump towards the conjugated protein. What do you mean by conjugated protein? Means it is a mixture of protein part and additional group. Additional group is usually non-protein in nature. On hydrolysis we will get a simple protein plus additional compound or additional groups. Usually it is a mixture of protein part plus non-protein parts, may be carbohydrate, lipid, or any elements. That type of protein will be called as a conjugated protein. Among the conjugated protein, we can be classified as a nucleoproteins. Nucleoprotein means proteins will be having simple proteins plus nucleic acids. For example, RNA or DNA, part of the RNA and part of the DNA. Those type of protein will be called as a nucleoproteins. And glycoproteins, it is a mixture of protein plus additional group of carbohydrate. That will be called as a glycoproteins. Lipoproteins, lipoprotein means mixture of protein plus lipid portions. Those will be called as a lipoproteins. And phosphoproteins, protein plus phosphoric acid. Chromoprotein, protein plus coloring element. For example, hemoglobin, chromatic is there. And next one, metalloproteins, protein plus any metals. For example, copper will be there. Those things will become as a part of conjugated proteins. And lastly we will be see is the derived proteins. What do you mean by derived protein? Means by the reaction between the simple and conjugated proteins, what the product we are getting, that will become as a part of derived protein. When there is a reaction between simple and conjugated protein, what the product we are getting, that is derived protein. Among the derived protein, we will be classified as a primary and secondary. At the initial step, first steps of the reaction between simple and conjugated protein, what the derived product is there, that is primary derived proteins. And if we are processed one more step, means that is secondary derived proteins. Example for primary derived protein, that is proteins. Example for this is secondary derived protein, that is peptones. Okay, this is about broad classifications of protein as an aspect of biochemistry and nutrition. And most important classification as a part of our nutrition will be classified here as a nutritional classification of proteins. Here broadly we will be classified as a three things. First one is a complete protein, second one is a partially incomplete, third one is a incomplete proteins. Which are three broad classification of nutritional classification of protein means complete protein. Sometimes we will be call it as a first class protein, and partially incomplete protein, second class protein, incomplete protein or third class proteins. And we will be start out one by one. What do you mean by complete proteins? When will we call it as a complete proteins? Whichever the types of protein or whatever the types of protein which will be having all the 10 essential amino acids. All the 10 essential amino acids are there, means that protein will be called as a complete proteins. All the animal sources of protein usually will be said as a complete proteins. For example, milk, egg, and chicken, meat, fish. Those will be usually called as a complete proteins. That milk and egg will usually having all 10, especially important 9 essential amino acids are present in those foods. We cannot be get a deficiency of any amino acids. That's why those foodstuff we will be called as a complete proteins, and those are very essential and good for a normal growth and development of individual, even though in children. Okay, this is a complete proteins. And next one, partially incomplete. Here in a partially incomplete protein, here 1 or 2 essential amino acids are lacking. 1 or 2 essential amino acids are lacking. That type of protein we will call it as a partially incomplete proteins. Example for this is plant sources of protein will be called as a partially incomplete. For example, cereals will be lacked with the lysine, and pulses will be lacked with the methionine. That's why those foodstuff will be called as a partially incomplete protein. And lastly, we will be say towards incomplete proteins. When we will be said as incomplete means those foodstuff or those protein foodstuff is lacked with a more than 2 essential amino acids. If the foodstuff is lacking with a more than 2 essential amino acids, that foodstuff will be called as a incomplete proteins. Example for that is gelatin is a good example for that incomplete proteins. That will be lacked with more than 3 or more than 4 essential amino acids, and that is not good for the health also. Okay. This is overall about nutritional classification of protein: complete protein, partially incomplete protein, and incomplete protein. By this we will be conclude the classification, today classification, protein classification. classification of protein broadly will be classified as simple, conjugate and derived. Among the simple, globular and sclero based on the shape of the protein, and conjugate based on the additional group we are going to classify. Derived protein again we are classifying as a primary and secondary. And lastly, nutritional classification: complete protein, partially incomplete, lastly incomplete proteins. By this we will be complete today class. In upcoming classes we will be look over the sources of proteins, RDF proteins and functional classification or functions of proteins. By this we will be complete today class. Bye. Thank you so much.